Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Param Brahmadasmai Shri Gurube Namaha. Divilingaya Namaha. Urdhvalingaya Namaha. Anandalingaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 5th of June 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan residing in the Hridaya Akash, in the heart of every being and at all places at all times. With that prarthana and bhavana, we are continuing to examine Ātma-Nivedanam Bhakti. This Bhakti is the 9th Bhakti in the sequence that is shown in the Bhagavatam. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. So this Atma Nivedana Bhakti is where there is loving devotion. Bhakti itself means love, sneha. What does sneha mean? What is sneha? Sneha means attachment. There's sneha and nisneha. Two words are there. Sneha means to bind. It's the loving internal emotion that binds with another person, with somebody else. In this case, it is God, in Bhagavan. The sneha that is already inside of us, the capacity for absorption and attachment that is inside our heart, the emotional heart, that capacity, once it is directed or connected with Bhagavan, with God, that is called bhakti. And when it is connected with everything other than God, that is called asakti. Asakta. This is Gujarati word. Asakta means it is one has gotten entangled, stuck inside the material existence. This is a big difference. We do want to be stuck, but we want to be stuck at the feet of God. That's the difference. Bandhan rakhna hai, vasna rakhni hai, sab kuch rakhna hai, but Bhagwan ke saath. That's the only difference. Whatever we have now, which is going into the sansar, in the worldly existence, just change the direction. 100% change of direction from the sansar into the Swarup of Paramatma. That is called Ātma-Nivedanam. If you were to summarize the entire concept, it is that much. But again, there is a lot of questions and confusion that comes up. What about family? What about our responsibilities towards family, towards children, towards parents, towards everybody? What about all that? So yes, that responsibility is Karma Yoga. Right? Karma Yoga means you have to perform duty, but perform it without entangled attachment. We have used this word many times. That entangled attachment is asakti. And that is it gets unlocked through the sadhana process of 9 forms of devotion. That is a discipline process where the attachment begins to happen towards divinity. See? It's very, very interesting. So thank you for that comment in the chat there. Yes. Very good. You see, so it is again where we are experientially going in the direction towards Paramatma. Because remember, affective relational bond with the divine rather than mere ritual compliance. Rituals are the beginning. We do arati every day. We're doing it also. I also, when we do the Ganesh arati here in the morning, we plant a lamp and wave the lamp and all that thing. There's a ritual, but the ritual is a doorway. The ritual is a doorway into the bond with Bhagavan. That's why the ritual is done. Isn't that what we do in the world today? When a husband goes to the flower shop and gets dozen roses on the anniversary day and some box of chocolates, the traditional kind of stuff, and then during they sit together, the couple, and it offers the flowers and the box of chocolate. Isn't that a ritual? It can be, but it is expression of love. So that love you need to express somehow. That is why the objects are used in puja. So the expression of love is one reason. And then by doing the ritual, even if there isn't love, it will eventually bring about love. Through the bhajans, kirtans, etc., it will bring that about in time. It's not instantaneous. It's not like, some instant thing that just happens like that. No, it doesn't happen just like that. It really does take some time for that prema shakti to open up from inside. There is also the entire aspect of renunciation. Renunciation, R-E-N-U-N-C-I-A-T-I-O-N. Renunciation means the intentional relinquishment of possessive claims, often expressed through ascetical practices. Now, see, that is vairagya. Vairagya is where the raga towards the objects of the world, the people of the world, that goes away. So the relationship with all those around us is the right kind of relationship. It is not a binding in a harmful way. It is a liberated relationship. The relationship always is there. You have children, they have responsibility. You have parents, they have responsibility. There's duty, responsibility that is not deflected even for a minute. Duty deflection should never happen because of renunciation. Vairagyam doesn't mean ignoring one's duty, but the action is performed with love, not with attachment. That's the difference. Now, how is that even possible? That is possible when we start going into 9 forms of devotion, start doing them. Then that separation between love and attachment begins to happen inside, and that is a type of viveka. It's a clean-cut separation, eventually. That separation is living inside pure love, and then in that state, towards all, something magical happens. You begin to perceive the presence of the Lord in every single person. So that asakti, that entangled attachment, that deep, ingrained, emotional, ego-driven, focused binding, it dissolves. That is called granthi. Chindante hridaya granthi, chindante sarva samshaya. The knot of the heart is obliterated, as the Upanishad says. But most people never get to that. They are living in that knot, and that causes rebirth again and again and again and again and again. Karma connection continues with various individuals, and it just causes continuous rebirth. That is the Kalika Devi with all the heads around her, the Mundamala. Why that depiction is like that? Because that is the Bhava Chakra, that the Jivatma is going from lifetime to lifetime. Because it is bound through Ajnana. It is bound through that sense that these few people are mine. Nobody is ours, actually. This shariri hamara nahi to kaun hamara hai? But everybody is ours. Nobody is ours and everybody is ours. And then with that bhavana, do the immediate duty towards the world, towards the job, towards the 12 dimensions of life. Live it, or just like any ordinary person, the action is not all that different. You may be in a relationship with a husband or a wife, and the relationship continues as is. But there is a great change from inside, that you're diving into the depth of vairagyam, into the depth of jnana. And so when bhajan is done, Bhagwan ke saath hum baithte hai for sadhana, everything is burnt out at that time. There's an incident from the life of one of the devotees of Maharaj, Shriji Maharaj. उनके एक भक्त थे, Shivlal Sheth. He was a business person, 250 years back. And the way he used to do the puja, he used to sit on the asan, have the murti of the Paramatma, and he would literally dissolve the material world completely. Just dissolve it into Brahman, into the form of God. All family members, it has turned to ash. Think about this kind of dhyan. If we try to do that, we will not be able to do that. He says, nothing is there except you. Only you are there, God. Everything else is turned to ash. Because it's going to turn to ash. It's called Gnan Pralay. It doesn't actually turn to ash. Ye sharir bhi ek raak hai. Raak means, in Gujarati, raak means the ash burned body. And that is the vibhuti that we put on the forehead. What does that mean? It's not to be scared or anything like that. It means, my God, it means everything is just like a bubble only. So don't take it too seriously. It's serious. Don't internalize this sansar. ये संसार जो दिखता है जागृत अवस्था में, don't bring it inside the mind. Deal with it, work with it, care for it, for everybody outside. Don't bring it inside. Then one will be trapped. Leave it relationally where it needs to be. Don't we do that when we go to like a shopping center or a grocery store? Think about it this way. If you go to, like, for example, a mall, right? Isn't that what we do? We have here at Christiana Mall, we have JCPenney and Macy's and all that. When we go over there, we, let's say, buy a couple of items. We have a brief conversation with the cashier, maybe with the salesperson. We need, we want to buy something, they want to sell something. So there's a brief conversation. And then what? After the transaction is done, they'll say thank you for shopping. We'll say thank you, whatever. And it ends. It's finished. They go their way, we go our way. This is called a non-entangled relational connection. Yehi karna hai with everybody in the sansar. Not with God. With everybody and everything else, do this much. What is my duty right now? What is my relational connection? Do that much. Hari Om, move on. Kisi ke bhi saath bandhan nahi rakhna. Not even the slightest. Not even an iota of bondage that anybody is mine. Mera koi hai hi nahi. Ek Atma aur Paramatma. When the body is burnt in the crematory, kaun aata hai hamari saath? Not one thing in this world comes with us. All the bank balance and everything we have stored up is not for us, it's for somebody else. What we use is ours, that's all. Otherwise it goes to somebody else. We work all day long like a donkey and save money for somebody else. That's it. Jitna hai, we don't use it. And the other problem is we start using it through asakti, through ego. A lot of karma gets accumulated. Kitni difficult baat hai. Some people are of that mentality. Let's just ash karo. Jalsa. In Gujarati the word is jalsa. Eat, drink and be merry. बहुत attachment ही हो जाता है. It get lost in that. And some people are so miserly, they cannot spend even $1 here and there. ऐसे ही मर जाते हैं. Body turns to raak, turns to ash. So the secret of living this beautiful life is with bhakti. Bhakti is the real solution to all of this. Bhakti automatically, when we connect our emotional energy with Paramatma, the right amount of money, energy, thought, speech, everything is used in the right way. For the benefit of the sansar, for our benefit, there's no harm to anybody. This is the biggest point. And there is also no entangled attachment. Now, this happens in family life all the time. Wait a minute, how can I live with my family if I'm not attached to them? In fact, not being attached to the family is love for the family. Being attached to the family is not love for the family. That's a big difference. This is mine, this is person's, the I and the mine, and then all the worry and tension and fear. That doesn't help anybody. Worry, tension, fear. Vitaraga bhaya krodha stitadhir muniruchyate. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagwan Krishna kehte hai ye sab baat. Sachin is not telling anything anybody. Vitaraga, rag, bhay, krodh nikal gaya. Vitaraga bhaya krodha stitadhir muniruchyate. Kitni sundar baat hai. Rag, bhay and krodh vanish. Completely vanish. Bhay means fear. Isn't it so? What will happen to me? What will happen to this person? If this doesn't happen, this will happen. If this doesn't happen, that will happen. Constantly. worried about the future. How will I make it in the future? Then people are worried about these wars that are going on. Well, what are you going to do? You stop your internal war. You don't worry about those other wars. That's not for us to worry about unless you're in that position to do something about that. Maybe you can do something. Who knows? Right? But stop the internal war first. And then be liberated. Don't worry about the sansar. The sansar is of no consequence. It is going to continue exactly the way it is. Millions of people are coming and going all the time. Isme koi difference nahi aaye. It's not going to change at all. 120 years from now, all the people living here will be gone. Whole new population will be here. And who knows what it'll be at that time. They'll make of it what they'll make of it. What we have to worry about that right now? We should do the best we can to help the world. But so many people are interested in solving all the problems of the world. Solve your own problem first. Don't worry about solving somebody else's problem. Serve the world in the relative way. Solve this problem first inside. And that is the solution is 9 forms of devotion. And when we are liberated, then the activity in the world continues. See, even liberated beings, even they're there today, they might have big organizations, they might have massive spiritual organizations, thousands of people could be running after them. But even all of that is, even that they could be doing all of those things. But those individuals have to be careful not to be stuck in that. They can get trapped inside what they have created. You see, it can easily happen. It does happen. And then those people, they are continuing, but they are on their own path. See, the Guru Shishya Parampara, Guru is not responsible for the Shishya's liberation. It's not like that. The Shishya is responsible for his or her own liberation by internalizing the Guru's teachings and divinity. So this is what the Gita in chapter 6 is saying. Uddareda Ātma-Nivedanam. So the Guru is a beacon of light, Satguru. So Satguru, Sat plus Guru is called Sadguru. They are a beacon of light to show us how to open this doorway into these 9 forms of devotion. That is what their purpose is. And we have to walk that path with Shraddha, with respect. And when we do that, watch out where the entanglements are. Because it's not a question of leaving the family or anything like that. There's a story, I'll tell you this brief story, then we'll close in just a minute here. Raja Bhartuhari and one other king. The 2 kings had left the kingdom, they had become sannyasis, and they were going into some ashram or something. And they had, so when they leave everything, they just carry like a small wooden bowl or something to eat in, like a tumbdi, then some kind of a vessel, wooden vessel for the water, 2 or 3 items they carry. And there was only one place to hang that. So both of them, they didn't know who they were. They had, who had massive kingdoms, had renounced all the kingdom. And they had gone, to that place in the ashram. And they were going to hang this. There was only one place to place that. And they started arguing about that. And they started getting into a big argument about it. And then they recognized each other. That we were both kings and we are arguing over, even though we have left the kingdom, we have not left our internal attachment towards this small wooden bowl. And we're fighting over this thing now. We were fighting over kingdoms before. No realization. Realization 0. You can leave. You can leave the sansar. The sansar will not leave you. You cannot actually leave the sansar. It's the art of living in the material world without entanglement and attachment. Then you are free. This is the teaching of, this is the life of Janak Raja. You know the story of Janak Raja, right? Janak Raja was Shukdev Maharaj's king. Shukdev Maharaj's guru actually. I'll tell you this story also. Bhagwan Vedvyas, had this son, Shukdev. And then he was born after years of staying in the mother's womb. It's a long story. And then he was born with Ātma-Nivedanam. But then he said that, yes, you need to go to Janak. So he goes to Janak Raja, and Janak Raja is sitting on the throne, and he's got all these, material things around him, and all this kind of stuff is going on. He says, how can this be my guru? So then Janak comes to him, and then he instructs him in Sankhya and Yoga. That wisdom of living in the world, in the sansar, with jnanam, with Sankhya, meaning even though it is going on, there is no tinge of entanglement. And the yoga is the connection with Paramatma. It is called Sankhya and Yoga. And both of these are mentioned in the Gita also. Sankhya Yoga Prithakabala. Pravadanti na pandita. It just means that they're not different. They are the same actually. Only the Bal Buddhi, only the childish Vritti thinks that they are different. Again, that's another subject altogether connected to this. But the point is, Janak Raja, who's a householder, master of Sankhya and Yoga, became the guru of Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami is the propounder of the Bhagavatam. He's the one who taught Raja Parikshit the entire Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses. See, so it's not a question of running away somewhere. This is a misunderstanding in Sanatana Dharma. Lot of misunderstanding is there. A lot of fear is there also. That if I go too close to God, I'll just not care about the world. No, that's not the case. The relationship with the world will be the right kind of relationship where Vairagya and Bhakti are mixed together with the sansar. With the interaction. So interaction is Vairagyam. There's no pulling through Raga Dvesha. And because of devotion towards Paramatma, the interaction with everybody is a loving interaction with everyone. Every being, not just every human being. Every being. If you see, for example, next time you see a bumblebee, try this. Usko pranam kar. Have you ever done that? Here's a sadhana, bumblebee sadhana. See, if you see a bird, next time we all see a bird, a cat, a dog, a non-human, right? Any animal. Say, Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha. See the magic that happens. But God is not there. This is where Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Cha Mai Pashyati. Bhagwan Krishna ki agnya hai. See me everywhere. But, again, this is a sadhana. Just as when we are bowing down to the murti of Bhagwan Krishna, Devi, Ganeshji, etc. Are we saying that bumblebee is God? No, we're not saying that. But we're saying that God is present because of Bhagwan's presence that exists. The Jivatma is there. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuniche Vashapake Pandita Samadarshina. Try it sometime. It doesn't matter who or what comes into our purview. Paramatma is there. And that is the relationship with the sansar. That is this Ātma-Nivedanam Bhakti. Then there is no entangled attachment at all. This is the great teaching of Guru Dattatreya Ji. This is the great teaching of Shankaracharya Ji. Bade Sant means what? They're not like having 15 heads or something. It's not like that. They are in human form like we are. They are completely awakened from inside. Completely awakened from inside. And as a result of that awakening, they are able to completely align with Brahman. Super consciousness. And in that alignment, then they are effulgent. It is called self-luminosity. That is the Atma-Jnana. That is the Brahma-Jnana, that the self is luminous. And so that in that self-luminosity, the entanglements and the problems of the mind, the Antakarana, do not exist anymore. So the relationship with everyone in the world is of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. The world is not rejected. It is accepted in the light of God. That is Vairagya. Accepting the sansar in the light of God with non-directional love, that is called Jivan Mukti. That is the 10th Bhakti. We will talk about that next month. But that is our destination. So it is so beautiful. Very simple. In summary, in just one sentence, if we want to put all this thing, it is love without ahankar. Love minus individualized ego equals Purna Bhakti. That's it. It's just that simple. Itni hi baat hai. But ahankar nahi chutta. It could persist like anything. That is why we have to go through the process, go through sadhana, Bhagwan ko prarthana karni, and then that wisdom comes. Because one more point, in the devotional awakening from inside, dharma, jnana and vairagya are already going to follow along automatically if the devotion is of a high stage. Yes, that is the power of achal bhakti, achalam, without moving, without disturbing the bhakti. Let's put it this way. Once you have tapped into that, even a glimpse of that non-disturbed bhakti, even for 1 minute, the internal bhav will be, I don't ever want to come out of this. Or wohi prarthna hai कि इसमें से निकलना ही नहीं. Why to come out of that? And then by staying in that, perform the activities of the world. Jagat ka usme hi kalyan hai. Whoever the person sees, interacts with, there is blessing that comes from God for everybody. Automatically it comes. You don't have to give blessing to anybody. That Paramatma gives blessings through the bhakti towards all that we interact with. And this is the best way to help those around us, to serve those around us, not to leave those around us, not to have arguments and worries and tension. Vitaraga bhaya krodha stitadhir muniruchyate. Stitadhir muni. Stitadhi means the buddhi is absolutely steady. Muniruchyate. Muni meaning silence. Contemplative individual, that is called muni. And so that stage develops from the inside out. And isme anand. Of course, by realizing each jivatma is on their own path, serve them properly, do your own sadhana. Bhagwan or bhakta, mukta or mukteshwar, itna hi sambandh hai जीवन में. हमारे साथ सब लोग आते हैं जाते हैं. How many people do we remember even? Do we remember our great-grandparents? Their parents? We don't remember them. How often we remember them? We are concerned with our own desires. That's all. This is just a chain. It's a karmic chain. And when we come out of the cycle of reincarnation, that is Jivan Mukti. But coming out of the cycle of reincarnation is how? These 9 forms. Direct. One verse in the Bhagavatam. Out of 18,000 verses, one verse is there. They're all beautiful. But this one verse will directly take the individual like a rocket ship out of the orbit, out of that cyclical orbit, and take it out of orbit into Mukti. This is the power of 9 forms of devotion. Let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Divilingaya Nama Urdhvalingaya Nama Anandalingaya Nama Dvadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha. Om Trambakam Yajame Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkami Vabandanan Mrityor Mukshya Mamritata. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. Om Glom Hum Klim Jumsaha. Jwalaya Jwalaya Jwala Jwala Prajvala Prajvala Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche. Jwala Ham Sam Lam Ksham Phat Swaha. Om Durge Durge Rakshini Tata Swaha. Shri Radha Krishnar Panamastu. Om Hrim Swaha.